Hey, look, I've been voting since I was 18 years old. 1976 was the first election that I actually voted in. Now, the thing that I guess I've taken to heart by basically exercising my uh, right to try to select the person that I thought was uh, the correct person, the eligible person to run this country for a period of 4 years. I've exercised that right more than I chose not to exercise it, especially when it comes to the President of the United States. Now, I've heard all kinds of campaigns. I've heard all kinds of political platforms. The two major parties have always been the Democrat and the Republican. And honestly, I have voted both ways, more Democrat than Republican, but I have voted Republican because occasionally, for whatever reason, whether they, hit the right spots in my political thinking or whether I was high as shit, I don't know. But in all that time, I have never ever heard a presidential candidate of any party, any sex, any race call their political opponents vermin. I've heard, like when Obama ran, I heard people call him, say that he wasn't American, that he was an Islamic terrorist, a sleeper agent of ISIS. But I have never ever heard an American president or potential presidential candidate from any party call his fellow Americans in a campaign speech vermin. I've never heard connected to, let's put a qualifier on it, connected to an American election, a presidential election. I have never heard an American presidential candidate talk about using the Department of Justice, the branches of the Department of Justice, the law enforcement agencies, and the prosecutorial resources of the Department of Justice to not prosecute, because the only thing wrong that this presidential candidate, we're talking about Trump, the only thing wrong that the people that Trump has talked about is that they did things to him. And most of the things I've seen done to Trump, officially done to Trump, are connected with the alleged crimes that he has committed. But the whole thing is Trump is all about himself. And in the process of being all about himself, he is willing to destroy anyone and anything that gets in his way. He's willing to scapegoat an entire race or races of people to elevate him and his little clique, his party, which you gotta say that, like when Trump came down the escalator, everybody says, the Republican Party's not going to support him all the way through. The Republican Party, because it is so desperate to maintain power for the sake of republicanism, they have enveloped Trump, they have doubled down, they have tripled down, they have kicked Republican loyalists out of the party. People that have done, whether you think it's bad or good, they have made major contributions to the status of the Republican Party. Liz Cheney. All Liz Cheney wanted to do would be a Republican that valued the Constitution, that valued democracy. But the Republican Party, because it has always been a minority party that has sought power above all things and been willing to use so many tools, corruption only breeds absolute corruption. And it's all being enveloped in the personality, the persona of Donald John Trump and his efforts to use the electoral system, which is a democratic system, to vault himself back into the White House on the backs of his MAGA base. And once he gets in there, that's the end of democracy. That's the end of free and fair elections. He has everything that he has charged everybody else with is what he intends to do himself if he gets the opportunity, if the American people are basically fucking dumb enough to put him back in the White House. Now, the thing that's really weird is that this is not the first time. Trump is not an originalist. He's not an innovator. He's an imitator. And the things he chooses to imitate are some of the worst portions of, or the leaders he chooses to imitate are historically the worst leaders in human history, in the history of mankind. He likes strong individuals like Hitler, like Mussolini. He likes individuals that lead by being all about what they think is right and not considering the will of the people, or imposing their ideas into society and forcing them to make the people think that that is actually their will or what they want. Now, he's also talked about 10 million deportations. Where he pulled that? Well, we know he pulled that number out of his ass because he likes being, verbose. He likes being grandiose. But if you are not his version of an American, if you are undocumented, or if however he sets up Homeland Security, ICE, or whatever, he's going to rig it so that everybody being deported is not necessarily undocumented, non-resident. There's going to be deportations that a lot of people that are questionable are going to get shipped out, especially if they can prove you have any ties to any other country except America. Basically what he's saying, he's doing the same thing that Hitler did, same thing that Mussolini did. If you don't want to get in line with him personally, if you don't want to get in line with what they are intending to make the government do, you're going to suffer for having an anti-government opinion. You're going to suffer for having an anti-Trump opinion. That's why he's already promised that everybody that he thinks that did anything to him, that went against him personally, went against whatever policies he was trying to ram down the throats of America, anybody that spoke out against him loud enough and maybe got some people on their side against him, your days are numbered. He hasn't gotten to the point of exactly, saying death to all Trump haters. He's said that certain individuals should be executed under the guise of, the charge of treason, like General Milley. And all Milley did was basically prevent the United States military from participating in Trump's January 6th coup, or prevent Trump from using the nuclear codes to either, start a war or blackmail the United States government into doing something that he wanted. Trump is, when they talk about an existential danger, that word gets bandied around, but basically it means that it's something that, if allowed to grow and thrive, it is going to cause the extinction of something else. If we as a people allow Donald Trump, who is a single person, existential danger to this country, he very well may accomplish the extinction of democracy, which means the extinction of the United States as we know it. But there are those that do, and unfortunately a majority of those that do go out every day and do whatever they can to make sure that the system is eroded enough, damaged enough, that people are become so untrusting about the existing form of the United States government that they are willing to take a chance with Trump. Trump won in 2016 because people wanted a change. The only thing that really stopped him was COVID. COVID totally unmasked him for being unqualified for what is required of the President of the United States. YouTube gives me the opportunity to put my relevance out into the atmosphere. I'm pretty sure that there's some people out there that, want to hear what I have to say. But unless you hit that subscribe button, unless you continue to hit the like buttons, I'm not going to be able to keep coming out like this. I'll keep putting it out, but YouTube's not going to, help me build my platform. You help me build my platform. But like always, no matter what you think of me, no matter how you feel about what I say, I still say peace out and God bless until I see you again. From Uncle Ricky at Uncle Ricky's house.